pretty well. When we did like interviews at the NA side and everything, I'm not sure what the media got there, but it felt really personal. Like Tate and I went in together. We were doing the interview, and I don't know, we were like, what, 2 feet away from Yoshida, maybe?
Yeah.
It honestly, like, it was, I know it's not your first time talking to Yoshida, but it was my first time being in there, and it felt like it wasn't a nervous atmosphere at all. It felt like just a couple of dudes chatting it out. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously I was still nervous as all hell, but other than that, it was pretty chill.
I walked in with Avalon Star, and you know how like the hallway, it was like really long, and it was just on the opposite end of that hallway was Yoshi P just sitting with his legs crossed on the couch.
Yeah.
Like, me and Avalon were like,
welcome to the boss room.
And then they opened the door, and we both kind of just like stopped.
Are we allowed to go forward? The king has to tell us to come forward, right?
Yeah, it was like really nerve-wracking.
Yeah, but Yoshida's a cool guy. Like, I've never had a bad experience talking to him. Every single time, he's just nice and kind, and he seems like he wants to have the conversation and respond with a genuine answer.
I think he loves his game.
What I can say though, in terms of like being like in close vicinity of Yoshida, because I had that backstage at Gamescom, I thought I would be hella nervous. But it was fine. Like, I was nervous being on stage with him because I felt like, okay, you can't fuck up, like, but I think he just likes talking to people who love the game as much as he does.
Yeah.
So I would assume that maybe the way he talks to like people where he knows, okay, they produce content for the game I'm producing, is also a bit different than like journalists he has never like heard of or met or anything. No, this is just an assumption, right?
No, I agree with you 100%.
But I mean, if we had something we absolutely love and we created, and someone comes to us and loves the product, we would be like more enthusiastic and share more, and maybe share like different things than with an outlet where you sort of know, okay, they just like post very basic stuff.
Yeah,
which is fine. Like, that's also needed, but you guys go more in depth, and I think he knows.
Yeah, no, and I kind of want to emphasize that point a little bit. I mean, it's important that there's large media that actually covers the event, because they get out to a lot of people. A lot of people watch or read their content for many other reasons than Final Fantasy 14. But the influencers, I don't know, content creators, people who are deeply involved in the game and always going out there and playing it, raiding, doing these things. He's deeply involved in the game too, right? He develops the game. And so these are things that he talks about. And so if you can have a serious conversation with somebody who knows what you make, it feels pretty good, right?
Yeah.
One thing I found really interesting, now that I guess I've experienced like both styles of interaction with influencers and with media, is that after the San Francisco Media Tour in 2017. Yeah, it was the beginning of 2017. I sort of thought that he was so relaxed and chill and cool because he was talking to influencers, because he was talking to people that he knew that loved the game, and I thought that he probably behaved differently towards media. But after being in London and seeing him interact with like larger media outlets and their reps, he treats them exactly the same. And I thought that was like really, really cool and really, really impressive, is that he has just as much time and just as much patience for people that are frankly often asking really, really dumb questions.
I mean, he has to. I mean, I was sitting next to you at the EU one when we had the guy.
You would have noticed all the dumb questions I was asking. Yeah.
No. So like, well, we would have one question before us that was, hey, when is the next, we saw Octopath did really well, so do you think Final Fantasy is going to go into turn-based games going forward? At a Final Fantasy 14 event, he's asking about other Final Fantasy franchises.
Are we talking the FanFest media thing at the end?
Yeah.
Oh, that was so bad sometimes.
So cringy. But like, he was cool about it.
Yeah, he was cool. He gave the answer that he needed to, and professionally and well. So
like, my experience is that when he's talking to influencers, he tends to like elaborate a lot more. He tends to give a lot more detail. He tends to use I guess like in-game terminology, like terminology that we as veterans would be familiar with, that someone who doesn't play the game would not be familiar with. And he tends to like get a little bit more animated, a little bit more excited when he's answering the questions. But the way he approaches the interactions, the way he approaches the interviews is exactly the same way. And I thought that was like really, really cool, because like if I put myself in his shoes and I have to listen to someone banging on about some fucking Kotaku ERP article that was published 2 years ago for like the 9th time in one morning, like I'd probably just be like, get the fuck out of my office, you know. But he's not. He's really cool, and he's really patient. And like all of the journalists that I were talking to came away from their interactions with him with the same sort of like deference that we have towards him. You know, we're all like, oh my God, Yoshida's so cool. The media, they all come away the same. They're like, oh my God, I've never met like a director and producer who's just so fucking cool. And these are people that talk to like, you know, everyone.
Right.
Yeah. And I found that really, really neat.